don't know what to say. Hi, I'm Ray. Um, you probably don't even recognize me. Like, obviously, you recognize my name, so technically, you do recognize me, but I'm just saying my look has changed a lot since the last time I've shown my face on this platform. Um, well, obviously, I don't have glasses anymore, and around the time VTW was watching my videos the most, I had glasses. I was also like 8 years younger, so yeah, I was like 13. I'm now 21 years old. Who would have known? Um, but the point in this video is um, I'm here to do a video that was requested by actually a member of the VTW roster, Mr. Zach Daniels himself. Um, he requested, I kind of like suggested making this video, and he said he was interested in seeing this video. Basically, this video is going to be my Mount Rushmore of VTW. This is going to be specific because I did say my Mount Rushmore in my last video, so definitely check it out. But if you don't want to check it out, basically I said my Mount Rushmore is Tyler Aitken, Ecstatic, Zach Daniels, and Aaron Jones. I think I said them all. Unless I said a name twice, but regardless, you just check out the video and you'll know. But basically, what I suggested is what my Mount Rushmore of VTW would be if I couldn't include any of those four guys. So basically, my honorary Mount Rushmore of VTW. So you might be wondering to yourselves, what exactly do I consider somebody that deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore for any company? Basically, it's somebody who's been in the company the longest, put on the most consistently good matches. Let's see, what else? Has had like the biggest impact on the company, has stuck around the company through thick and thin, stuff like that. Like, that's basically what I consider somebody that deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore list. Which is why, like, when it comes to like WWE, I have certain wrestlers like The Undertaker or John Cena on the Mount Rushmore because they've stuck around with the company and arguably carried the company through thick and thin when WWE was at their best and when WWE was at their worst. And that's why they're just a couple of the four people on the Mount Rushmore, my Mount Rushmore for WWE. And that will be my reason to why I include certain wrestlers on my honorary Mount Rushmore for VTW. So I put some thought in on this video, and um, also just in general who I was going to put on this list and why I was going to put them on there. And I think I know who I want to put on this list. And at the end, I'm deciding I'm going to do some honorary mentions for people that didn't make it on this list, but you could argue deserved to be on this list. So definitely tune into the end to see that. Now, let's get to the point. The very first wrestler on this list that I consider a Mount Rushmore type wrestler that's not in the OG4 of VTW is Drew Hood. So Drew Hood has had by far one of the biggest impacts on VTW. You could argue he's one of the wrestlers that wasn't in the core four of VTW that just carried VTW during like the trampoline era and like the vintage technical wrestling era. Like, wrestlers like him were like just some of the wrestlers that just carried VTW on his back, and like definitely deserves to be on this list. I think he's a very fair pick. Now, another person I'd personally like to put on this list is another person that I think is very well deserving. Um, Number two is D-Lock. Now, D-Lock, like, I've said this in the VTW channel before. I've said this in one of my videos before. D-Lock has to be one of the most consistent wrestlers in VTW when it comes to in-ring skills. Like, the amount of good matches he's put on in VTW, it's crazy. Like, I can barely remember any matches of his that I wouldn't consider a banger, and those matches I'd consider like average, but like definitely not terrible matches. I don't think he's had a bad match really. Like it's like I said in the last video, maybe the match with Mephisto at Reunion 2016, but like that's pretty much as far as it goes when it comes to like bad matches for D-Lock. Like this guy, he's he's like when somebody wants to have like a good match, if somebody wants to have like a competition to see who can put on a banger, like the most bangers in one night, they see D-Lock walk in the room and they're like, oh shit. But like, yeah, the enough with the praising. But yeah, definitely D-Lock is on this list because of how long he's stuck around and how many like bangers he's put on and the impact. Like, you can argue that's their VTW wouldn't be in the place it's at, wouldn't have the reputation it has if it wasn't for wrestlers like D-Lock. So he definitely deserves a spot on the Mount Rushmore, in my opinion. So that's why he's on there. Okay, so the third person that goes in this Mount Rushmore, let's get to the point. Dustin Reagan. He's he's amazing. I think he's one of the most badass characters in VTW. Like, he's got a badass look to him. He's got really good wrestling skills with like technical stuff, and obviously he's one of the hardest hitters in VTW. Like he like is a badass. So like he definitely goes on here, not just because of those reasons, but because of how long he's stuck around with VTW and just the impact he's had and the amount of bangers he's put on. Like, I think he deserves a spot on this list for sure. Okay, so the final person to go on this list is the CJE himself, Cameron Jackson. Now, this is another guy that I think pretty much carried VTW. Like, he's definitely one of the people that did that during the vintage technical wrestling era. Um, like, I think he was like one of the MVPs for sure of the company for a while. Like, he was he was a really good seller. He was really good with like his comedic timing, and like he was really good with a lot of stuff, and he had a really big impact on the company, and I think he's another one that is a fair choice to put on this list. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the promise that I made at the beginning of the video and say my honorable mentions for wrestlers I think arguably deserve to be on this list but didn't end up making on this list. Now, a few wrestlers I can think of off the top of my head are wrestlers like Chase Bridges, Avery Hoke. Um, that's more like a couple, but there's definitely other people that I can think of that kind of do deserve a spot on this list. Another few wrestlers I can think of that deserve a spot on this list, in my opinion, that didn't end up being on this list, are wrestlers like D'Lo Smith, Kevin Shaw, Jamal Payne, just to name a few. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions. But yeah, um, if anybody has any ideas on what sort of videos they want to see of me, like I still have some ideas for sure on what type of videos I can make, because I mean, I'm a sucker for Royal Rumble matches, which obviously means I'm a sucker for whenever VTW does the Reunion Rumble. So I could rank every VTW Reunion Rumble. I don't think I can do the first ones from like 2010 through 15 because I don't think they're available on YouTube anymore, but 2016 through 2025 I can definitely do. Like, I would love to do that video, and I would even do the MVPs of those Royal Rumbles because I like to give people props when it really counts. That's something I do like about myself, is that whether they're a good person or a bad person, or whether they're whether they're famously known as being a good wrestler, a bad wrestler, or an okay wrestler, I'm not afraid to give somebody props when they deserve it. So, yeah, definitely in the plans to make that video down the line. I could make another video I actually want to make down the line is how I would personally book the match card for VTW Mania this year. And I could even come up with some like things I'd like to see from VTW down the line because I know VTW likes to hear ideas from the fans to like improve their format, I guess. I keep realizing I'm like getting close to the camera and you can't see like this part of my face. Yeah, my apologies. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, and I hope some of the wrestlers I included on this list see this video somehow, because I feel like I've I feel like I praised them pretty well. Like I feel like I gave them the respect they deserve, and like that's a good thing for sure. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a good day, and most importantly, be good people. There's not a lot of good people in this world, and I hope that you guys can be the exception for that. But anyway, be good people.